What if I said that you had a lot in common with professional Red Bull air racers, Olympic contenders, and even your favorite rugby, soccer, baseball, or football player? If you don't believe me, hang out with me for the next couple of minutes as I convince you that paramedics have a lot in common with professional athletes. Hey there, it's George Leboff of 1010 Paramedic Education and Consulting, and I know that as paramedics, we try to avoid this grandiose self-image of ourselves, this hero complex. And sometimes I think that we actually demean our profession a little bit by not thinking as highly of ourselves as we possibly could, without being arrogant, without being overconfident. And that's why I'd like for you to consider yourself in the same realm as a professional athlete. And here's why. Number one is that as a paramedic, just like an athlete, you have to be emotionally regulated. You can't have blowouts, you can't be throwing your tennis racket, you can't be screaming at patients. So we've all seen athletes that lost control, coaches that lost control, players that lost control, and it's embarrassing. So fundamentally, you're like a professional athlete by the simple fact that under stress, you need to be emotionally regulated. Second thing to keep in mind is that we play in a team environment. When it comes to your partner, when it comes to your supervisor, when it comes to integrating with fire rescue and law enforcement. The next thing is that there are significant consequences for our failure. So whether it is the final punt of a football game or the bases are loaded, it's the bottom of the ninth, the score is tied, time for the big one, we also have to perform in clutch situations. If I'm still not convincing you, what about the fact that you and professional athletes both have to compete in the public arena? All right, when you're working in a motor vehicle accident, it's not uncommon for people to have their cell phone cameras or to have a helicopter from a local news agency orbiting overhead. Last thing is that we have very specific skills. All right, intubation, IV insertions, even when you think of head-to-toe assessments and cardioversion and ECG monitoring, these are very specific to our professional. And just like athletes, biathletes, for example, are doing skiing and shooting. Olympic swimmers are only honing really specific skills within their particular sport. So are we. Is there anything we can do about this? Is there anything that we can do to improve our mindset when it comes to comparing ourselves favorably with paramedics? And there are a couple things. Let's use sports psychology for our advantage. Number one is appreciate that cortisol interferes with your critical thinking. Top athletes know this. This is why they are doing visualization and breathing exercises, because they want to be in the green. They want to be calm and relaxed going into their competitive downhill skiing or perhaps a significant football or rugby play. You can't make good choices when you're highly stressed. And that's something we can definitely do better as a profession. The next thing is to avoid negative self-talk. And what I'm talking about here is that we have pervasively cynical individuals on our paramedic team. Individuals, this could even be you, who bring the entire energy of the team down. If again, you look at your top professional sports teams, they don't tolerate people talking badly about the team. There's nothing worse than having a big final play and having one of your teammates going, you know what, guys? I don't think this is going to work. I think we're going to fail this. And we can't be tolerating that as well. So if you're one of these individuals that is habitually negative, maybe you need to put a bit of a cork in it, because you're actually bringing the rest of your team down. I know there's still a few of you that are pretty skeptical that paramedics have anything to do with athletes. And you know what? Here's the deal. You might be a couple pounds overweight. You might have not hit the gym in a few months. You might be drinking a Red Bull and eating Doritos right now. That's not what I'm talking about when it comes to comparing you favorably to athletes. Be proud of what you do. You know, it's not always about the winning. Sometimes it's the knowledge that our world is in fact a better place, a lot better, because of people like you. For more information, check out 1010education.com for upcoming webinars, my Paramedic Student with Ease and Paramedic Student Survival course. And just between you and I am starting to take students for the mentorship and tutorial program. Check it out, 1010education.com.